we're going to be graphing two of those equations that we've been talking about on the same graph. Okay? Whenever we graph them on the same coordinate plane, where we shade should overlap somewhere. Okay, since I'm shading for two lines. And where it overlaps, that is our solution, or our answer. Okay? So, let's see here. Looking at example number 1, we're going to graph these following systems of linear inequalities. Remember, our first step is to make sure that it's in y equals mx plus b form, right? So I'm going to make note of that at the top. First, we want it to be in this form, okay? Second, what?
Number 1.
Y equals mx plus b?
No, it's number 1. Step number 1. Y equals mx plus b. Step number 2.
Okay, step number 2. We're deciding if our line should be dotted or solid. It says number 1, y equals mx plus b. Okay, so number 2, we're deciding if our line should be dotted or solid. If our line is going to be dotted, what do we have for an inequality? Does it have the equal to or does it not have the equal to? Doesn't have it. Okay, so it would have one of those inequalities, right? If it's going to be a solid line, then it does have the inequality with the equal to sign, right? So it would be one of these, right? And then the last thing that we have to decide is if we should shade above or below. So if I'm going to shade above, do I have a greater than symbol or a less than symbol? Greater than. So it's going to be either this one or the one with the equal to, right? If I'm supposed to shade below, it's the other way around, right? Less than or less than or equal to. Okay, so there's our little key. If we're not sure, this is what we'll reference while we're graphing, okay? All right, so on number 1, first thing we check is, are the equations in y equals mx plus b form? Yes, okay, so we're good there. I'm going to graph this one first. So what number in that equation tells me where to start? The 6. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's my point. And my slope tells me I'm going to go where for the next point? Down 2 and over 1. Very good. All right, so I have all my points plotted. Now I have to decide, should my line be a dotted line or a solid line? Dotted, right, because is there any equal to? Okay, so we all should get this right when I ask us 100% of the time, because I have it written right here. So don't guess, read right here before you answer, okay? All right, so you're right, it is going to be dotted. Okay, and then I'm going to decide where I should shade. So it says y is greater than, so I'm going to shade above. Very good. Okay. I'm shading over here. Okay, now on this same coordinate plane, I'm also going to graph that second equation. So is the second one also in y equals mx plus b form? Yes. Okay, so we're good there. Where do I know to start at? Very good. So I put me a point at -3. And my slope tells me we're going to go up and over how much? Up 1 and over 1. Very good. All right. So for this one, look at my inequality. Dotted. Right. Very good. This is a dotted line going through there. And do I want to shade above or below that line? Below. Okay. Now, below this line means everything that's underneath it. So, all of this. So, do we see where our two shades overlapped? Yeah, they intersected or overlapped in this area right here. So you want to shade that part where it's overlapping extra dark. And that would be our solution to this set, or the answer to this set, okay? Also, if you want to shade using two different colors, if you've got a pencil and a pen, or different colored pencils, you're welcome to use those as well. All right, let's see here. Number 2, is that in y equals mx plus b form? Yeah. Y on this side, x on the other side. We're good, right? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and graph. There's no b, so where am I supposed to start at? 0, 0. Very good. And then where do I move to get to my next point? Up 1 and over 1. Good. Now, do I want to make this a dotted line or a solid line? Dotted. Very good. Okay. So I've got my dotted line. Do we want to shade above that line or below that line? Above. Very good. All right. So I'm going to shade everything up here. Okay. Second equation, is that one in y equals mx plus b form? Yes, okay, so we're good there. Where does it start at? 5. Good. Put my starting point. How am I going to move to my next point? Very good. All right. Is this one going to be a dotted line or a solid line? Dotted as well. Very good. And where do we want to shade? Above the line, right? And then we'll see where it's different colors here. So I'll shade this second time with red. So we said we're going to shade above. So that would be, oh, it did not change my color. There. So I would shade above it. Oh, still not changing my color. I don't know why it's not changing. Oh well. So I would shade everything on this side of the line. Now the part where they overlapped is in this little bitty area right here, right? So I'm going to shade that part in extra dark in there. Okay? All right. Okay, let's do another one. Number 3, are these both in y equals mx plus b form? Okay, so we are going to have to rearrange because they are in y equals mx plus b form. However, there is a problem with the first equation. That slope is currently written as a decimal, right? So I need to turn that into a fraction. So remember, if you don't know what it is as a fraction, you can type the decimal in your calculator. So everybody type 0.5. Okay, and then hit enter. And then I want you to press math, enter, enter. And what does it say it is as a fraction? 1/2. Very good. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and fix this equation. It's really going to be y is less than 1/2 x plus 4. Okay. All right, now we're ready to graph. So where does that equation start at? Good. Up 1 and over 2. Very good. Okay, now I'm trying to decide, should I have a dotted line or a solid line? Dotted. Very good. Okay, and then the last thing we have to decide is, do we want to shade above or below? Below, good. So everything underneath here. Okay, next equation. We already said it's in the right form. Where does it start? Good. Okay, and my slope tells me to go where? Down 1 and over 1. Good. All right. Then, is this line going to be dotted or solid? Solid, right, because it has that equal to with it. Very good. All right, so I have my solid line this time. And where am I going to shade? Below. So everything underneath here. So this area right in here is going to be the extra shaded part, right? So right in here is where I'm going to shade extra dark, where it overlaps. Okay. All right, we just got a couple more to do. Flip it over onto the back. All right. So, for the first equation, there's only one letter, right? So I don't need to move anything. I'm supposed to go to where x is 10. So remember, that's on the x-axis. So I come over here, and I put a point at 10. If I go back to the left, am I still at 10? No. But can I go up and down and still be at x is 10? Yes. So I'm going to draw a vertical line. So anytime you have x, remember that is a vertical line that you want to draw, which means up and down. Okay? All right, the line that I draw, do I want it to be a dotted line or a solid line? Dotted. Very good. So all along here, I draw myself a dotted line. And it says that x is less than. So which side of the line do you shade on? Below, which in this case would be to the left, right? That's where things are smaller. So that is the entire graph, right? Everything to the left. So don't shade too dark because you want to still be able to graph. Don't shade super dark just yet. All right. Okay, for the second equation, where does that one start at? Good. And how do I move for the next point? Very good. All right, do we want a dotted or solid line to connect those points? Very good. Solid line, and where do we want to shade? Above, right. So everything above this line needs to be shaded extra dark. I'm going to shade all of this in really dark. All right, good job. Okay, last one. Okay, so that first equation is x and a number. So what kind of line does that mean we're going to draw? Vertical. Very good. So this means we are drawing a vertical line. At what number do I need to go to? Right, so I'm going to go to where x is -3, which would be right here. Okay, do I want to draw a solid or a dotted line? Very good. So I'm going to draw a solid line right through that -3. And do I want to shade to the left or to the right? To the right. That's where things are bigger. Very good. All right, so all of this over here. Okay. Now, if x and some number means to draw a vertical line, what do you guys think y and a number means we're going to draw? Horizontal. Very good. So anytime you see y with just a number, we draw a horizontal line. Okay, so I'm going to go to where y is what number? 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is up here. And am I going to draw a dotted or solid horizontal line? Dotted. Good. And where do I want to shade? Okay, so this one's a horizontal line, so the top. Yes, good.
I didn't know which one color is.
Huh?
Um,
So, the extra shaded part is in this little box right here in the corner, right? So, extra dark in there. So you make it extra dark wherever they overlap. Okay? All right, good job, guys.